Hi everyone, this is an overview of PLT for the week of September 21st through the 25th. The document that I'll be going over in a moment can be found right here in the weekly overview, and this video will show up there in just a few moments. The training videos this week are why and how to do SABRs, thanks to Mr. Neff. Your SABRs for your advisory classes are due this week between September 21st and the 25th. So make sure you have them due by the 25th. We also have a video about how to make your iPad split screen, thanks to Ms. Carlson-Jung. I think this will be benefit for teachers and for students, especially when using their iPads or trying to explain things. That video is also included in advisory. The slides are already up and so is the lesson plan. We'll go over what's going on in advisory in just a moment. Finally, make sure to fill out your PLT checklist form. We do this every week, and that's how we get to account for PLT and make sure that we get to keep this time, but also to make sure that we're utilizing it in the best way possible. So keep sending us your suggestions. It was suggested last week that we really had too many videos for trainings and people were getting overwhelmed. So instead of having all of those videos right there, we have the ones that are really pertinent to things that you have to do that week, like the SABRs video. But then you'll see under here, we're going to have some traveling tutorial modules. So from now on, after your weekly module, there will always be the Zoom tutorials, the MacBook Air tutorials, and we'll add Microsoft 365. If you think of anything else, please tell us. Now I'll go over our PLT overview document for this week. First, happy news, the Compassion Courtyard success. The Keating Foundation generously provided a whole lot of money for us, so that courtyard will get completed with the rest of the construction. We're really excited about that. Next, like I said, the MacBook Air training module is going to be added, as well as those Zoom modules. The rollout date for MacBook Airs is September 23rd, and we will have people that will support you throughout the building and remotely. Mr. Dorst mentioned in the faculty meeting the Goldstein Award nomination. The form is right here, and you can just send it to the email that's in that form. And then on Monday, Mr. Jimenez is sending out this information about 2020 fall student-led conferences. Just to review, in case you missed that email, student-led conferences are a little different. Here's the information. Student-led conferences need to be scheduled with your advisory students only this year. We will not have our normal 2 nights of student-led conferences. Student-led conferences will be scheduled and conducted by the student through Zoom or in person, depending on your schedule. Please work with your advisory students to schedule these during a window of time given below. It would be helpful to have times designated that students can pick from that work for you. The window for student-led conferences will be October 26th through the November 24th. Keep in mind that students during the day will have scheduled classes and cannot miss their classes for a conference. Teachers have already received their compensation day for conferences, and there will be all of the training you need in PLT and advisory class. So no preparation needed for you at this time. We're just giving you information ahead of time. As I said before, your training this week is how to do a split screen on an iPad, and make sure you complete your SABRs this week, and we have a good video about how and why we do that. Especially if you're new to the building, you really need to know how and why we do SABRs. Next, for advisory, this week everyone's doing the same thing again. We're going to watch that how to make your iPad split screen video, and then we have a compassion lesson. And we're going to dwell on some of the goals of compassion. Another video was made by Nate McClendon and other members of the Compassion Committee. I know Sarah Rimple was part of that too, and Judy McClendon. Thank you so much for your help. But we just want to review the 4 goals of compassion is to actively listen. We want to work on that. Perspective, self-control, and grace. And those are things that we'll be working on throughout the school year and bringing up and talking about. Also, students have to do their My SABRs. Again, it would be really important to watch Mr. Neff's video because it will tell you why and how we do this. But also, there's a separate video for students to use that will walk them through it specifically. Finally, seniors have a survey this week. In addition, make sure to keep turning in those collaboration forms, so we are accountable to our time, but also we can collaborate this way. So here's our question and answers from this week. First, will there be this much PLT every week? We tried to cut it down. Thank you for that information, and hopefully that way of splitting up our PLT information will help you out. Number 2, why can't we check in with just our advisory group? Why do we need to have 2 separate advisory groups? And why do the kids have to check in with 2 adults? The reason they chose to do that is because on red days, that would be like another thing in addition to what you are contracted to do. And therefore, instead of making you have advisory again on that day, you meet with your 5th hour students. So that alleviates any extra work. It also provides a similar time for students to check in every day. They check in every day in the same time frame. So that was important too. Number 3, should teachers be assigning daily work? In either model, hybrid, or distance, assign work to your students on the days your students are supposed to be engaged in class during the week, whether they are on or off site. Should students be assigned work over the weekend? An assignment should be assigned during the school week, but assignments may be due on Sunday to give extra time. If you still need help with Canvas, please reach out to our Canvas trainers. They are Clancy Livingston, Jenny Carr, Cindy Krause, Lisa Julian, Kristen Hopkins, Kent Hildebrand, Adam O'Neill, and Leslie Campbell. Number 6, some teachers are zooming in with their group that's not at school, presenting the lesson to everyone. Others are doing 2 lessons and preparing videos ahead of time. Are we supposed to be doing it one way or another? The answer is from Mr. Dorst, as long as you're engaging students, you can use whatever model works for you. Number 7, what is the recourse to a student who refuses to join remote days and hasn't done a learning log and has no personal phone number listed on Infinite Campus? The answer, we should continue to strive to engage. If there's a pattern, reach out to the parent and guardians and grade level administrators and counseling team. Attendance at check-ins is required even though we no longer have to complete the learning logs. Number 8, can you create some PDF assignments, learn more about Flipgrid, other apps, so that we can actually experience them like our students do? Well, we don't have the answer for that this week, but we're hoping to do more teacher training in the future. Also, please read the comments at the bottom because they also give some great ideas. We'll gloss over them in just a second. The same question is very similar. What are some other tools people are using? Again, down here, we've got some great ideas from your peers. Number 10, do we need to sign the hall pass for a student leaving to go to the bathroom? The answer is yes. Always use the red pass books. And finally, number 11, can we work in a mask break or food break during advisory? The answer is no. Mask off eating is one of the most volatile times for a person to transmit or receive COVID. We have to limit this as much as possible during the school day. Some comments, and if any of this appeals to you, please feel free to reach out to a teacher. And if you're a teacher with a great idea and wants to make a video to make part of PLT, please reach out to me, Crystal Kleiner, or Deidre Braxmeyer. So first, there's been some people using their iPad and MacBook. Jackie Jones has a great way of doing that, and it's been making his class easier to facilitate. So thank you for that comment, Jackie. Next, Alex Brown has downloaded the Canvas Teacher app. I didn't even know this existed until Alex told us, and it has been confirmed that it makes everything a lot easier and faster. So you should definitely download the Canvas Teacher app and just play with it on your iPad. It'll make your life easier. Number 3, for new quizzes, someone figured out a way to speed grade and auto grade assignments. If you're interested in that, talk to Cindy Krause. You can also look at the previous attempts of the students, so make sure to talk to her. Flippity.net, which is also a cool name, is a new fun resource that Lindsay Clark found. So if you're interested in that for remote learning applications, look at that. Number 5, Jenny Carr had the idea that maybe this would be a good time because we have some extra time during advisory, that flex time for students to give some feedback on Canvas assignments that they're receiving. So make sure that they get those teacher comments read. Not all of them know how to do that, and we have a video for that, so you're welcome to utilize that from last week's advisory, and we can post that as well. But make sure you're prompting the students to go back and look at their teacher's comments. And finally, Stacy Tidmore asked for the mindfulness app to be added for all students on their iPad, and it's now available. It's called Oak. So if you're interested in that, put it on your iPads and tell your students about it. That's all we have for this week. I tried to make that short and sweet. If you've got more suggestions, we are really trying to tailor everything to your needs. Thank you so much for everything you do, and have a great week.